Терминологию четко провести, то есть разница между агротуризмом и туризмом, господи, есть агротуризм понятие. Значит, семинар, ну, типа, он там, фестиваль, даже, типа, ну, такого механизма уже. Я ему попросила его, пожалуйста, дизайн-шейп. Она же не любит как-то вот так плавать, он обожает. Хотя он сказал, что это ничего. А вот здесь семантика была прекрасно прочитался, ну, конечно, семантика не положена. Помогает. Я не говорю, что еще говорить? Пожалуйста. Я говорю, что можно ребенка. Ben de alışıyorum. Üçüncüde böyle geçiyor. Üçüncü. Doğru. Ben de yanlışlıkla bakıyorsun. Ama hayır diyorum aslında. Konuya benziyor. Bir prosesi. Anlamda beklemedim. Akşam hocam. İyi. Ben severim anladım. Sonra ben sen Значит, чужой брак не был. А не чужой брак. Мама других тарafı. Ben saç çıkartayım. Bizi de uçacağız o şekilde. O artık çok koparım. Çok anladın mı? İyi bir çıkıyor. Böyle sen bilin. Bir şey olsun. Çünkü bu ничего сказать. То лучше. Üç kilometre. Aslında çok güzel. İki yaşına giyindim. Videosunu taşıdıktan sonra ben fikir olacak. Kısaca yaklaşık böyle bir his duyuyor ama aklıma getirdim. Ama böyle urget yaptım. Tasarım şey yaptım. Ben de yaptım. Ben de yaptım. Ну, нет, когда дочь подбывала, не была. Ich auch so Filme werden jetzt. Das halt Foto drüber.
Porque правильно вегетацию
Ну, смотри, какой, да, если на вас колик положительно, колики, это операционный период, там, 3-4 месяца.
Ну,
Первый день было, ну, не все просто, когда родился коликом, надо прикинь, сказал, его колик, он пройдет,
если здравоохранение ваше, да,
просто стала такие, я не подскочу.
а просто ничего не скоронилось. Больше скоронилось,
А, не знаю, помните, есть теории. Sicherheit, апельсиновый это не есть истина, это отдельно. А ваши вообще селедку хорошо придется. Ну, маленькие, не съедаются. Да, если, конечно, вы настолько комфортно, ну что-то вот селфи, что ли, да, можете.
वालेकुम सलाम सलाम अलैकुम
Gördünüz mü?
Oturup diskalifiye olarken ha? Dersler görece. Oturup diskalifiye.
Hı?
Lazım.
Usta hozir ularning yonida mikrofonni yoqib bo'lmaydigan qilib qo'ymoqchiman.
Adminsiz mas'ul.
Admin emasmanmi? Adminman, admin ya turibdi.
Yozuv admin faqat.
Banka jo'natdim deb, bankdan kartochka boshqasi biz unga oylik bera olamiz. Turdan keyin boring. Demak, market ham yo'q, turdan keyin уже kech borasizlar. Durmaymiz, ko'chada даже ovqatlanishga он не то, что вегетарианец, он вообще веган. Я сейчас маме видно, не рыба, не курица. Я сейчас жду, у меню составляется четвертьфинал. Ага, да? Век. Мы же государственная организация. Утрудили, вы знаете, вот она. Да. А что они так все это? И говорят, а вот основном я напомню.
So now, coming to the actual context actually, which is our niche, which is the actual agenda of our topic. Okay, the components, the most important components, the areas, the sections of the paper or any sort of research. Every research starts from a cover page, title page, goes towards the abstract, and then after the abstract we have the actual phenomena. Okay, which includes introduction, literature review, research methodology, data analysis, discussion. Then we have references and the tables and figures and illustration. 90% of the journal articles has to be formed or framed in this style. Okay, doesn't matter, it's all cannot be one file because the one file starts from here. Okay, title page where all the details of the authors, affiliations, separate file, cover page or cover letter. Okay. Okay. What is the role and what are the benefits of the research and so on? Okay.
Demonstration.
Yeah. The benefits for the career growth, benefits for the student, the graduation requirement, and so on. These are the few benefits actually, and that was discussed very in detail yesterday. So now we are coming to the IMRAN. Okay. Actually, we don't talk about Imran anymore. This is the old story. Yes. We don't use the word Imran. Okay, it doesn't mean that we don't go through. This is exactly the same sections what I just discussed in the previous slide. The Imran word actually, it is quite ancient. It's quite ancient actually. But if you look at those countries actually which are quite advanced in the research, most of the researchers never heard about Imran. Okay, if I'm talking about those researchers who have a research career of last 10 years like me, okay, I'm aware of for last few years only because someone asked me. So it was not Dr. Negora very first time asked me, Imran should be in a focus actually. So I searched about it, what exactly is Imran, and then I okay, Imran stands for what? Because most recent, we don't use these terminologies or jargons. These are keep on changing. Very, very frequently. Introduction, literature, methods. We start from a very basic, then we touch why it is, what is the research problem, objective, mission, purpose, and so on. But before looking at this, what is the research and what exactly makes it complete? We focus on a few W's and few H. Why, when, where, why, how, Okay, when we have the answer for all these H and W's, with who we will be doing this? So these H and W's stand somewhere in the different section of the paper. Such as the methodology, I love this section actually. When I worked in the how? In hotel industry in Uzbekistan, very huge. Okay, first of all, hotel industry has different categories of hotel. Branches are types actually. Categories from 5-star to 4, 3, 2, 1, budget, boutique, motel, inn, resorts. Different types of resorts. Every resort is different from one another actually. So it's a huge. And hospitality industry doesn't include only hotel and resorts, right? So it's very huge. Budget hotel, 5-star hotel, luxury hotels, business hotels. We are going to talk accordingly. With who we will be doing? Participants. Where we are doing? So Uzbekistan is very huge. No, cannot. Just focus on Tashkent. But Tashkent is very huge. Hundreds of to like or don't like. You understand? We are no one. We do follow what. So further in abroad, introduction, study site, location, method, result, discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is a very important. We do acknowledge in terms of citations, right? That this paragraph, this quotation, this figure, or these ideas came or copied from this particular study, we cite it. Also, we acknowledge, such as someone has funded my research. Okay, they are not co-author of my research, but I have acknowledged. Okay, Ministry of XYZ. So most of my papers are a part of some research projects, and the research projects needs. So who have funded that actually, such as Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of some heritage department, or private universities, private institutions, public sector, voluntary sector, anyone. Acknowledgement. We have collected the data for stakeholders. Okay. Stakeholder can include travel agent, tour operator, airlines, policy makers, ministers, or committee members. Actually, they are very busy. They have confirmed, okay, I conducted interview. They have responded by email, survey, so on. Let's acknowledge that. Acknowledgement is very important. Actually, it means that you are giving a proper credit to the person actually who have contributed to your research to make it complete actually. Okay, and it carries the credibility. Okay, being a positive person, actually, if I acknowledge someone, I will get in return actually. Okay, and being a Hindu, I believe in karma. I don't know either you have ever heard about karma, Karma actually. So if I do today, I will get in return. Now it depends actually, it's a positive or negative, and actually it works. Okay, giving a proper credit actually. So you won't be questionable. You are just clarifying, justifying that whatever you have done, you have a proof of it. What's it about? What is the nutshell? Why did you do it? Where did you do it? How did you do it? What did you find? So see, it's all questions, how and W. So we as a researcher finding the answer for them. When we have a proper answer, our section is ready. So for a paper, especially research paper, we do lots of brainstorming, okay? We have some rough idea, and then I sat with one person, but making sure that the person has some knowledge. Okay, just shouldn't waste time actually. Should contribute actually. Okay, contribute in a way where I'm lacking. Okay, rather than the same level, lower level or higher level, something different actually. And then we brainstorm, what do you think about it? What you think about it? When we brainstorm, getting and collecting different ideas, after that we get to the literature. What literature has covered and what is left over. Then we come up with the drafts. Okay, and then we share the drafts with the different strangers, colleagues actually, who are not part of this research, because third eye check. What we are perceiving, it makes sense, but not necessary, it really makes sense. Okay, and then we polish it, make it, and then we will be doing what exactly. Then we set the deadlines, because deadlines are very important. If you don't set deadlines, we are very lazy human being. Okay, literally, no, not urgent, never mind tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes.
Always comes today.
Okay, no, it's not necessary today actually. So we block our calendar for that particular job. So that's why I go back to the very first point where I started yesterday, enthusiasm. You have to promise to yourself that this is your PhD, your research. You have to focus, you have to pay attention, you have to sacrifice lots of nights as well as weekends actually. Okay, you want to finish your PhD within 3 years or 10 years, your wish. Okay. And if there is no sort of scholarship, only 3 years, doesn't matter actually. Actually, it really matters. Okay, you are covering on that. Okay. The papers are keep on coming every day. Even while we are brainstorming, probably someone else from some part of the world actually have already covered that thing. So we think that it's a novel, but actually it's not novel. Okay, because people also unintentionally we have a different mindset, or probably the same at the same time. Historical context and evolution of emerald fine. Why it matters? Ensures clear logical flow, that should have some flow, the sequence actually, what should come first, what should come second, and the dots get connected to each another. Facilitates the peer review, because as an author, our job is to fulfill those H and W's, as well as the reviewer is also checking what is the purpose, why you did this, what was the reason, and reviewers are the expert of that particular field, so we cannot bluff them. Okay, they always find the answer. Okay, 1W, 2W, 1H. Enhances the research impact. When we have a clarity in our research for those H and W's, okay, it clarifies and it creates a good impact, provides a standardized format. Otherwise, why Emerald was to standardize the format? Okay, what should come first, second, third, and so on. Standardization, SOP, we can say. So, standardize throughout the world. Okay, that introduction should come first, literature review should go second. Introduction should start from background, then problem statement, then probably the purpose or objective. Okay, if we don't have this standardization, probably you will say, no, literature review should come first, then only introduction. Okay, so standardization. So throughout the world, actually.
However, it seems to me that there is not any logical flow in Imran's style, because it seems to me that literature review should be at the end as references. Why we have to write about literature beforehand, before the main topic is
Not for papers. Not for papers actually. For thesis, yes. I ask my students to write the literature, at least first draft, rather than introduction. Introduction normally we write at the end only. But some part, at least few pages for the introductions are ready. That's called background actually. Because once we complete the entire research with the discussion, again we come back to the introduction to polish the introduction. But the literature review is the section or the chapter which takes longer, where our theoretical where the theoretical model of the paper stands actually, where we have introduced theories, why we have used this theory, on the basis of theoretical model, we have created our own conceptual framework for our research actually. But for papers, no. I'm talking about social science, especially tourism. If you talk about physics, medicine, chemistry, probably their paper is like within 2 pages actually. Okay, within even 1,500, done. But it's not applicable actually. Yes, in social science, most of the journal have introduced research note, maximum 2,000 words. And that's almost the same like your paper actually, but most of the sections are missing. Literature review is completely missing. Immediately after introduction, you have methodology. No need. Because it's limited with 2,000 words. That's called research note. And mainly the research notes are a reflection of the authors. Reflection, rather reflectivity on that particular hot topic actually. Okay. Rather than digging from the literature. Of course, you have to cite your reflection, your point, you have to support with the literature, but very few. But recently we have seen research note for the empirical papers also. My paper was rejected from one of the journal. They said, okay, paper is good, but we are rejecting it because we don't want this paper as a full paper of 8,000 words. But we would like to invite you to convert the same paper in a research note of 2,000 words. I said, no. Okay, 2,000 words actually it will take long time for me. Okay, and then why should I waste my 8,000 word paper actually with the full details? Because once I publish that research note, almost most of the niche thing actually should be published. I cannot repeat the same thing in the new paper. So I said no. I went to the other journal and get it published now.
all my words. 3,000 words.
The structure of the research paper, don't want to repeat, it's the same thing actually what we have been discussing. Writing a strong introduction, the very first chapter, introduction. Introduction, it's your choice actually that you write the introduction in the beginning or at the end. But I advise you don't write completely, just write 20 to 30% introduction or create the infrastructure background. But definitely you have to start creating your problem statement. Because entire paper will be based on that problem which you have discussed. So formalize. After problem, you will have a purpose of the study. After that, you will have the objective of the study. After that, you will have the research question of the study. Then you will have significance. But background, the very first heading, don't write anything until you complete the paper. If you have written also, I assure you that after writing your discussion part, you will be coming back to the introduction to polish it. It took probably a month to complete a paper. Within 1 month, there are 20 new articles actually you have to cite. You will be citing in the literature also as well as the introduction, and also in the introduction, you will be supporting from the literature, from the methodology, from the findings, from the discussion. Probably you will find something else because background has to be so strong. Background is something which you have created a platform to perform performance. So stage has to be that strong actually. The performance is marvelous actually, but it's strong. The pillars of the stage are very thin, shaking. So it will be shaking then. Introduction. Key components of the introduction section such as importance, background, problem statement, research gap, local context, evidence, argument. You cannot say that you think, I think, we are no one. We have to refer back that they said prior literature, previous studies, XYZ person in 2022 have mentioned this. And making sure that in the introduction you don't use old citation. Maximum 5 years. Previous 5 years or 3 years. If you think that you have sufficient literature for last 3 years. But it doesn't mean that you cannot use the ancient or old citation. In my so many papers, especially in my PhD, I used the citation of 1948. And I submitted my thesis, PhD thesis in maybe end of 14, somewhere, because 15 was graduation, so 14 should be here. 1948 citation. I was asked by my supervisory committee to remove this, replace this. This is old. I said, no, this is the root actually where it started from. But only one citation. I wanted to give the credit to the person who have pioneered this particular. But after that, so many people have used. Why should we give the credit who have used or who have altered? Right? We should be remembering that person or that authors, those authors who have started. That paper was not available online. So I asked the library to get me that paper actually. And that is paper also scan copy we imported from somewhere. Because in 1948 there was no online system. Yes.
So, as you mentioned that who we are to and our own opinions. However, our supervisor that he said that after stating other writers' points, you also have to add your own advices. But I always have a fear. How can I add my own advice? Who I am to give an advice? But I'm a learner yet.
Your supervisor is perfectly right actually. But the words which you have used, probably please allow me to correct actually. It's not your advices. It's your reflection. It's your argumentation actually. That study A said this, study B said this, study C said this, study D said this. Hence, we accumulate this actually. But cannot. That the problem is big. And this is a gap. It can be a literature gap, it can be a contextual gap, it can be a methodological gap, and so on. Fourth one also I forgot. But there are different types of gaps actually.
So we have to suggest something to fill these gaps?
Yes, that's the implication actually.
If it's wrong, maybe I always have this fear. Maybe I'm seeing something wrong.
Don't get this fear actually. Believe in yourself and believe in your supervisory committee. Okay, they are the expert who will be looking at your first draft, second draft, third draft actually. Luckily, you are not my student actually. Because they will be correcting. They are the advisor. They are the first examiner, first jury, right? So they will be doing their job actually. So don't be scared actually. Why to get scared? Nobody is gonna kill you if you are wrong. What exactly will happen? Paper will get rejected. So what? Rejection is good. Welcome to it. Okay. So this is one of the introduction. Actually, I copied from one of paper that how it starts. Paper was focusing on COVID-19. So we started from COVID-19 in the very first paragraph. COVID-19 pandemic triggered economic crisis, financial issues, imbalances, and risk in each gross domestic GDP, and so on. Citations, authentic citations. Okay, and before this, I forgot one more thing. You say who we are. I cite my own paper also. Actually, it shouldn't be, but I cite because I want to. Probably in that particular area, no paper is available, or old paper are there. Okay, so there are some areas where I'm probably there are only like less than 5 researchers. So of course I cite them, but I cite my own paper also because that's the latest one. And this research is related to that research. So I have to show the connectivity, and I make sure that those papers are also cited and the reference is available, because a good researcher always find the paper and go to the references also. Because finding the very first paper is a painful, but after that you just go through the references and see what are the very other relevant papers you can download and check. Okay, so the starting point is the painful, starting point is the trigger point. Actually, you have to find. After that, journey will be smooth. So first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph shouldn't have many paragraph, shouldn't have too little paragraph. You cannot have just one paragraph on an entire page. No, should have at least few paragraphs. 2 are sufficient, 3 are sufficient, 4 are possible. What exactly consists? Paragraph is consists of how many lines? Minimum 3 lines. Less than 3 lines is not a paragraph. Okay, so 3 lines are more. But 3 lines paragraph is too short. But if you think that point is too strong, you want to make it or stand on its own, then yes. But make sure it's supported by citation or some quotations if you have adapted from previous study. Second paragraph, immediately we jump to. So first paragraph was talking about COVID-19 issues, risk, economic imbalances, and then this paper is about customer service expectation, dining experience by attending operational survival strategies. So this paper is all about COVID-19 impact, customer experience, restaurant dining experience in Malaysia, because second paragraph talks about Malaysia. So I have to bring some sort of connectivity actually. So I will be showing you the title of this study also. So when we read the title, what I said is correct actually. This is the first page of introduction actually. And these are few of the main contexts actually which are parked in a different lines, but not necessarily different paragraph, such as the importance of the topic, the context, the problem statement, the evidence, the local context. So from broad to the local, that evidence, citations, research gap, research objective, research significance. If we cover this on the first page, we have passed the first stage. Okay, because research paper should be written in a way that it creates curiosity. Do you read novel? Have you ever heard about novels, right? So novels ends with, or the last page, or the last line of the page. Wow. Do you watch web series? If I start watching one episode, I'm so sleepy, but I want to complete it. Second, third. See, that's a curiosity actually. That curiosity we should bring in our paper actually. Okay, rather than boring things actually. Okay, if your paper is bored, if your paper is confusing, if your paper doesn't make sense, if one sentence is not connected to the second, one paragraph is not connected to the second, means the reviewers are losing the interest. Okay, if they lost the interest, rejection, not even a major one, just reject immediately, because this paper doesn't stand even a test rejection. You know, the managing editors actually don't go through the paper even. First of all, the system. So first of all, the plagiarism check, then the system checks, then the managing editor will thoroughly go through the paper. Okay. I'm sorry.
Connected. Our Zoom is reconnected 2 times, and the demonstration of the screen was.
That's all.
That's why.
I'm sorry. No, it's okay. Okay. Important things to consider while writing an introduction. Concept, convincing the concept. 2 things. One is convincing, the second thing is justification. We have to convince. To who we need to convince actually? First of all, the system. Second one is the managing editor, associate editor, then reviewer, then our readers. Even though after the paper is accepted, paper is published. Once the paper is published, still we are not done. If our authors are the readers of that paper are not convinced, they won't use our paper. They won't cite our paper. What's the point? If we don't get the citation for our paper, it means we are failed for that particular research. Talk about the gaps, align the gaps with the objectives actually. So if you follow this flow, okay, each words matter, each lines matter, where it come, it cannot go up and down. That's the reason purposefully I read this. First of all, I screenshot from my paper, then I read and I have highlighted in a different color purposefully that what exactly it is. Okay, but now of course it comes with a flow, comes with the practice, comes with the experience, with the time. When we start writing, actually it comes. Okay, then what? Then what? Then what? Then what? So everything we see, then what? Okay, yes, it is. So what? Okay. It's very hard to convince someone actually. If you are able to convince someone, then you are fast. You have cleared that particular step. Okay, burger. Not the sandwich. So the paragraph, 1 page consists of few paragraphs, right? So paragraph should have some consistency, connectivity. 1 line, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, 1 paragraph, 2nd paragraph should have connectivity. If connectivity is gone, the dots are not connected actually. So in the burger, even a 1 sauce is missing. Do you like Subway? Subway burger. You don't have Subway.
Taste will have.
But sorry.
Taste of it will be done. Taste.
Thank you. Subway don't have, so I cannot use that example. Anyway, so topic. So we have 2 breads, and in between we have several layers. Okay, so we have some cheese, we have some patty, we have some vegetables, and so on. And then on the top we have sauce. Also in the bottom we have some sauce. Which sauce you want in what quantity? Twice or double, triple, or only 1 time? How many cheese layer you want? How thick patty you want? Or you want 2 patties together in 1 burger or crazy burger? Understand? When we go to the restaurant also, okay, it's like make to order burger, okay? So listen to me, because Subway works in that style. I'm a vegetarian, so they are okay, vegetarian. Still they ask me what veggie, I say all. All. But why they are asking? Because probably I am allergic to tomato. Or I don't want that. And sauce, they have probably 8, 10 different sauce. Which sauce? They can't put all sauce. Otherwise it will be all leaking. Same thing. If you have too much of something, it will be leaking. It won't fit. If you have something missing, it's missing. So topic, the man, context actually, supporting sentence 2, supporting sentence 3, concluding sentence. So each paragraph should start from somewhere, should be supported and should be concluded also. Then only it will show some connectivity to the second paragraph actually. Okay, so in the previous year, so started from COVID-19 because that's the big phenomena. Okay, COVID-19 didn't disturb the restaurants only, it disturbs every industry, each industry actually. So we said, okay, economic crisis, financial imbalance in the GDP. Okay, and the restaurants are also Such as this derivation process for the SOR theory. So, stimulus, organism, response. Okay, input, process, output. Okay, so the information is going from here and coming from here, and in between you are not processing at all. Okay, so close one side. Don't let it go out. But the SOR works in this style actually. Input, process, output. Scientific explanation of reality, modification of the theory. What exactly is the theory? Theory of planned behavior, TPB. Okay, that should be the basic theory which all the tourism students, staff should be aware of. Because it's most commonly used theory. TPB, theory of planned behavior. Okay, it talks about experience, satisfaction, revision, intention. So where this process, all process starts actually, perception, then experience, then either satisfaction or not satisfaction. Then on the basis of our experience, satisfaction, either we will be doing word of mouth, revision, intention, and so on. Accordingly, we will be loyal or not loyal. So this is the entire process actually, which includes the different branches of psychology such as the behavior, cognitive mindset. Research question: how does perceived product quality affects consumers' emotional response and brand loyalty in the luxury good market? For this research question, SOR theory stands like product quality, emotional response, brand loyalty. Input, process, output. Customer is coming with lots of perception to the restaurant. Okay, wow, restaurant is so good. I heard about the restaurant, not good yet. I heard about this restaurant, that's why I came. And I heard from here, there, marketing, my friend went, word of mouth, reviews, and so on. That's an input actually to my mind. Then I went to the restaurant, I ordered. How long it took to get my order? Okay, so before we eat, before we use our taste buds, actually, that sense, we are eating the food from our eyes. We are eating the food from our ears because I ordered sizzler. Ooh, sizzler, smoke, smell, sound.
Yeah.
Right? So we are putting lots of senses to eat that. But are we going to the restaurant just to eat?
No.
So many things. You missed something at the restaurant back last night. Okay, I went alone actually, and there was lots of events, some birthday parties, some local ladies and guys and boys who were dancing and nice music.
Where?
One of the restaurant. So I was done, I was alone, almost 1 hour. It's wonderful experience actually. So that experience also. We paid for the experience, we paid for the food, we paid for the paint of the wall.
Yeah.
We paid for the chair. We paid for the waiter's uniform. We paid for the lighting. We paid for the music. We paid for the everything. Okay, that's the reason when you go to the fast food, especially pizza, McDonald's actually, the sitting is not comfortable. Starbucks sitting is wonderful. Free Wi-Fi also. The wall pen, have you noticed the wall pen in McDonald's actually? That's annoying actually because they don't want you to sit longer. Okay, they don't want actually, they want come, order, eat, go, or just take and eat on the way. Okay, but Starbucks asks you, we have nice thing for you. Well, bring your laptop, free Wi-Fi. And keep on ordering drinks. Okay, so different mindset actually. input, emotional responses, what we are experiencing, then output. Output is either we will become loyal, either we are happy, either we are satisfied, either we are not. So look at the research question and how SR theory fits to this actually. Perceived product quality affects consumer emotional response and brand loyalty in the luxury goods market. So in this research question, can you identify there are some independent variable and dependent variable?
No, responses maybe independent.
Why you jump directly here actually? Didn't you see anything in the beginning?
We have variables, product quality, emotional, and brand loyalty. We have three variables, right?
Okay.
And one of them should be independent and two of
Which
them
one is the dependent?
dependent maybe product quality and brand quality.
Brand loyalty is the dependent because brand loyalty has this independent variable have an effect on brand loyalty. Brand loyalty doesn't have any effect on the perception. So that's why in the conceptual framework that arrow is one-sided, not two-sided. So that arrow is going this side, it means that from here to there. It's not two-sided.
So brand loyalty depended on product quality
Of course.
and emotional responses.
Emotional response, that's experience.
Then we have two independent and one dependent.
Of course, you are right. Also in this phenomena, this consumer emotion can be a moderator, it can be a mediator, it can be a control variable also. But in this phenomena, it can be independent. That's why we have more than one independent variable than dependent variable. Dependent variable is always one or two.
And for each variables, we can have the part of our questionnaire, right? For emotional responses, we have demographic and other metrics. And for each of the variables, we have like group selected questions.
Of course,
Identifying.
I will talk about this question actually in the methodology very in detail. Okay, so please hold on. Hypothesis. Existing literature, theory, variable, and then hypothesis formation. Hypotheses are formed by reviewing the literature. You cannot come up with the hypothesis actually just because you want. You have to do some sort of arguments. Okay, that this is study, this study, this study, and so on. Then, hence, we are proposing this hypothesis. And hypothesis is assumption, not necessarily it's a valid or not valid, will be accepted, rejected. That your finding will decide. This is conceptual framework. The same paper where I showed the introduction. No, not one. This one. This is totally different paper, but the title, just have a look at the title and the conceptual framework and the theory is SOR. Electronic word of mouth or e-word of mouth and Indian solo female travelers, hotel booking intention, moderating of perceived risk. So conceptual framework, there is a moderation of perceived risk. So when we have a direct relation or indirect, direct relation or this direct, indirect relations are mediated and moderated. So when we are showing the arrow also in the conceptual framework, because as mentioned, conceptual framework is a graphical representation of your research. When we look at the conceptual framework, we can understand 50% that what exactly have been done in this paper. That's why each arrow is a different actually. This is a direct, but this is indirect. Can you see? The shape is different. This is a moderating actually. If you have a mediating, then totally a different line actually, different from this one and this one. And then we have to tell also in the note that this dotted line, soft dotted or not soft, vertical, thin dotted or thick dotted, and no dotted line represents what? Okay. Hypothesis, hypothesis, hypothesis. So we have a direct and so on. Fine. So here SOR query is being used, input, process, output. That was all about literature reviews. From the literature review. Are we going so fast? Because I have a trigger of time. We can go through more, depends actually. I can complete within 30 minutes or the same thing we can extend for 3 hours. You know, which gear of the car we have to use. 30 minutes?
Which
You are
platform?
not serious about this project.
Which platform is better for using for literature review and citation? You use only Word or Mendeley also?
You mean for the references, right?
Citation for
Okay, citation references. I do manually. I enjoy that actually. Why manually? Because when I set everything manually, actually, then I go through word by word. Then I understand what journal I have used, what authors are the most common author I have used, what year paper. If manually is doing for me, then I won't. Because we are not spending more time on the references set. When we do everything manually, actually, it's the process actually. Once you do, actually, you will never forget in your entire life that how to set the references in APA style or Harvard style.
yeah, Word is
Okay, don't go with that Word APA style. That's problematic. Do it manually. Just download the PDF of APA 6, 7, 8 edition. If you don't have, I can share that also. It's freely available online.
manually spelled.
Just start doing, and definitely you will enjoy. You will learn actually that how to do, because in the references we are using articles, online articles with a DOI, without DOI, newspapers, books, online books, book chapters, online book chapters, conference proceeding. Someone have said something in one of the meeting, how to cite it. The press releases from Ministry of Tourism, how to cite it. Okay, so there are so many things. Everything is citable. Everything is citable. But have to find how to cite actually. So APA, Harvard, different. Someone has success. You have president, right?
President.
President of Uzbekistan, right? So president of Uzbekistan have said something in one of the talk to the media. Actually, you can cite that. Because he is talking about that we will be allocating this billions of money for this particular activity. Okay, your research is talking about some GDP. You can cite president, the year, and then cite it. Even though it's a audio actually. Okay, definitely it will have evidence actually. If president have said something, there will be a press release from the president office. You can cite president, the press release. Definitely the media will be capturing. The very next day, early morning, this news will be in the media. You can check any of the newspaper, magazine, and cite it. Different websites will be capturing that information also. You can cite it. We should have some way of capturing that information. That's why I said everything is citable. Research methodology. Research methodology is the overall approach or plan that guides how the researcher conducts. How? This chapter will not talk about why you are doing this. Okay? This chapter will talk about how, where, with whom, not why. Why is the question of chapter 1. Okay, but where is the question of chapter 3? Where? Location. With who? With respondent. International tourist, consumer, management, who? When is the question for this? When you will be collecting the data? How you will be doing actually? What type of methodology you will be using? Why you guys are looking at me like this? Are you getting?
Yeah.
Research onion. Okay, it's all about onion actually. Onion have a different layers. Okay, so onion has a different layer. So each layer has its meaning, right? When you peel out the onion, actually, it shows that how skillable you are. Okay, you are peeling 3 layers in a one shot. You just wasted 2 layers. Understand? So every layer has its meaning. In the research methodology, there are so many layers. You have to choose something in each layer. First of all, something in each layer, because in each layer there are different options. You cannot use everything. You have to choose the most authentic, useful, realistic for your research in that layer. Also, there are some layers which you can avoid, not necessarily those are applicable in your research. Research design is the first step of research methodology. Then the research methodology, research design is the first. Then time horizon, techniques, research strategy, research approach, research philosophy, and so on. Not much discussion on chapter 3 for today. Why? Because tomorrow is totally focusing on chapter 3 completely, because this is the most important. So your questions will be answered tomorrow actually. Data collection and instrumentation actually. Your question was about instrumentation. We have a few slides. That's why I wonder why we don't have. Yeah, it's connected to tomorrow actually. So I gave just introduction. We will be having this one also tomorrow and more in detail.
Please explain the research design. Is there like method? Can we say IMRAD is the research design?
In IMRAD methodology, M is a methodology. Methodology is everything. Research design is the one section of research methodology. You will have a more detailed
Design is the purpose of the IMRAD.
research methodology. Yes.
So research design, could you give me several examples?
See here. This is the methodology. This is the methodology that the onion fits here. Okay, and the one layer of that onion is research design. Okay, one layer of onion. Then you have to choose research design first, then research philosophy, then research strategy, then time horizon. Okay, so don't get confused. This is bigger section. Under that there are different layers actually. That's why that's the onion of research methodology actually. Results, discussion, findings. Yes, your question.
Discuss our abstract. It was kind of problematic. Can we do it today?
Anytime. You want me to complete this one?
No.
Do you have abstract printed now?
No. It's on the laptop.
Here? Okay, open up. This abstract is for what? Research paper or conference?
For the conference.
For the conference. How long is the abstract? How big is the abstract? I asked purposefully because for the conference, what is the requirement?
1,000 or 1,500 words.
1,500 words. 1,500 words for the references, right?
Yes, it's fine.
It's okay, whoever does.
Так, ваш
Вот це Тоні. Нашла? Имейл заходи.
захожу.
Вот теперь.
Обороты.
Це Тоні. Видиш? Так, не синок, теперь був оборот. Це Тоні. Здесь глаза.
Она задала.
Ниже, дорогая, ниже.
А ну, мы тонем.
Це Тоні. Нет, так не
Вот
ищи,
это?
лучше
Да,
так.
Тоні пиши.
Вон он уже стоит прям. Так вас как
Вообще, оборот.
Вот этот?
А, да.
Вот, да.
Правильно поставили.
Вот сначала вот ревью прочитать можно.
Yeah, she wants to look through the review from the I don't know who is it. Editor in chief or what?
Yes, Jim, our
Erdogan conference.
students want to do something practical also.
Okay.
Not only listening to you, but making or showing their research and
That I was thinking that we will be having tomorrow, but
get
okay. We can.
your suggestions.
Yeah.
So we will do it now or tomorrow?
Just open this one.
It's not long.
Yeah, just open one. We can go through now.
So she wants to go through review first and then see the file.
Open the file first.
Okay.
Let me check the file. Then we come to the points which you have received as a reviewer comments. Then we will come back again. So
Okay.
go down.
This is the file. It's the abstract.
Okay. Where is the title?
Title is I don't know.
Yes.
На первый.
Hold on. The dynamic development of tourism industry in Uzbekistan and increasing demand of specialists in tourism.
There were no any requirements on the volume of the abstract or anything else. Only first please send abstract till blah blah, and then we can.
And after this review, actually, they are expecting the revised version of abstract or a full paper.
No, abstract, revised.
Only abstract, revised abstract, right?
Yes, and now you will see, yes.
Yes, but that's why I asked what is the title, because I believe the title can be reworded also. Because the word dynamic have a different meanings. Uzbekistan, increasing demand for specialists. What type of specialist?
Tourism. In tourism especially.
No, but in tourism also, what type of specialist? You are talking about tour guides, you are talking about travel agents, you are talking about OTAs.
No.
Which type of specialist?
Working professions like maid, for example, or research, not management. Staff which can be trained at vocational education. Working professions.
Dynamic development of tourism industry in Uzbekistan and increasing demand. Increasing demand. Increasing demand or it would be creating awareness of tourism industry first. Because we cannot create a demand actually, but we can create an awareness that why you want to go for medical school, medical studies, why don't you go for tourism studies? Understand? So we are only middlemen to create awareness. And then also we are middlemen which fulfill the demand from the universities, from the institution. Okay, come here, we will fulfill, we will give you the scale, and you will be the expert, and then industry demand will be fulfilled, so you will be the provider also. Go to the abstract, please.
The industry is how to say about last 2-3 years. It's a huge amount.
Насколько
in Uzbekistan. That's why we need more specialists for the sphere. But by the statistics in our research, not specialists of the sphere nowadays. And then I want to make this analysis and show if the industry developing, we need more specialists. And to make any kind of calculation, yes.
But in abstract you
model.
In abstract you cannot do
Yeah.
any sort of calculation. Why? Because the
Yes. But read his review. He said, if you have done some research, please share. I know, abstract is something abstract.
No, abstracts are two types.
Hmm.
One is proposed abstract.
Yeah.
That where we talk about the future trends actually, that we will be doing this. One abstract is for your complete research actually, which you have completed already and you have results already. So just now what you were talking about, coming up with a model or coming up with that calculative statistics actually. What type of? Do you have any previous figures? Yes, we have tourist arrival for last 3 years. Every year is increasing. Wonderful. On that basis, do you have any statistics for Ministry of Labor which can provide how many tourism specialists are available in Uzbekistan? Okay, suppose 100 specialists were available in 2021 and next year 2022 still 100 or 96. When the tourist arrival is increasing, export is decreasing or export is constant, that's the question. So on that statistics, on the basis that again is a literature, on that basis we can propose that there is a research required actually, and there is a need of experts, because you don't have your details, you don't have your finding actually, you didn't complete your research.
Yes, and about the usage of the word demand, I used it because of taking into consideration market. Yes, it is something supply and demand, and that's why I use these words: demand for specialists. I mean market.
Let's go through the abstract.
Карьере mana hozir уже yaxlit beryapti masalan stilni man yozyapman rusdagi пример промашивки. Вы же еще за время от слова абстракции, понимаете? Что вы будете, да, не вопрос, именно что, в каком он должен быть стиле. Значит, это свободно. Теперь он мне просит дать подробную информацию. Очень мне взгляд. Это именно конкретно этикетка надо написать. Она поставить у меня демократически, я наверное. Вот такие вот еще на наш период.
We will go through the reviewer comments in next 5 minutes. No. I want to share my comments now.
Okay.
It's a good start. Promises made in this abstract are quite huge. That this paper will be doing this. This looks like a good project actually. And you use the word of specialist in the title, and later you explain somewhere what exactly you mean by experts. Okay, it includes different stakeholders, and then you are talking about fostering collaboration among educational institutions, government agencies, policy makers, and the businesses. Actually, these all are the huge stakeholders. Actually, okay, the collective data should be the data should be collected from all. Okay, and this looks like a mixed method approach. We need a quantitative, qualitative also. Okay.
Education.
So for this abstract, actually, it should be a proposing abstract that this number of tourists, this number of staff which we have, you are not doing anything actually because you don't have your findings, but you are proposing that there is a need, there is a gap which should be fulfilled actually. Okay, because you are not completing the full paper with your finding. For finding, you need to collect the data. And that paper will be probably 8 to 10,000 words. And for me, if I look at this is a national level project actually. Okay, this should be the priority of a ministry to look after, the committee, tourism committee to look after. Okay, this cannot fit within one paper. I can easily take out 3 to 4 papers out of this. Okay, because these stakeholders, what we are talking about, government agency, what do they think? Educational institutions, so what do they do? What they will do? Because once there is a demand created actually, now you are offering only diploma suppose, then you need to create a degree, masters, probably PhD, degrees in a different directions. For events, for tourism, for hospitality, under the tourism also different airline experts, tour guide specialists. So that can be a degree program rather than just a vocational certifications, vocational certifications. Those who are in the industry but they don't have a proper qualification, they can come and have this. So, and then policy makers, the government actually, the government agencies or the policy makers the same actually. Okay, so we cannot use those words which are repetitive because government agencies are the policy maker. There's no one else who have a responsibility to make policies, right? And then tourism businesses. Now, tourism businesses is also huge word actually, which includes a travel agent, tour operator, airlines, NTOs, national tourism organizations also, but private sector. Public sectors can go under the tourism agencies. So this is like a big promises actually.
Yeah.
Okay, because in this way, probably before I go through the reviewer comment, I can see that where the reviewer have put more focus on statistics and give some findings. Okay, which you don't have actually. So we have to revise this abstract that no, we don't have any findings, but we are creating the gap of this research actually, that there is a literature gap, huge literature gap, that this is a need and this is a practical issue actually, industrial issue actually, which should be fulfilled actually. If we don't fill up now, we will collapse. Why? Because tourism arrival is increasing. You mentioned next year how many millions Chinese tourists?
1 million.
1 million Chinese tourists, and there are 250 countries actually. Okay, if we say even a few thousands tourists are coming from different countries, you don't have an expert, you don't have a hotel room, you don't have a tour guide, you don't have a transportation, carrying capacity will be collapsed. Done. Because tourism is a serious business, we cannot just do because we want. Okay, and carrying capacity is one of the main phenomena which we look after because forecasting, budgeting happens on that. It's not about the tourists. What is the population of this country?
37 million.
37 million. Malaysian population is 32 million, and 35 million tourists came. More than the population actually. So not only the tourists are going to the tourist destination, but the locals are also going. So when we do the carrying capacity of a particular destination, it shouldn't be just 30 million, 35 million. Also consider that the local will be also going during the same time. Okay, so they create the rush. Or at those destinations, and then rush always creates a dissatisfaction. Go to the comments, please.
In our current research situation in education, that we have more than 38 higher education institutions like university institutes, which train specialists for tourism, and they are managers. Yes, they have high level education, and they will not go and work as a receptionist or as a bellboy and etc.
On the lower.
But if you take one photo with maybe 4 or 5 managers, yes? And other staff usually working professional, yeah, working people.
But the person
But
who
we
can-
have only 10 technical schools, so it's well, vocational education. Which
But-
prepare for
but-
this fair.
But I don't understand after getting the degree in hospitality management, hotel management, or tourism management, how the person can become manager? Big question. Person should go through the process actually. Okay, he will be going through the first hierarchy. Of course, he won't be a waiter. Okay, but I have seen that they should be getting the experience actually.
Not in our country.
I'm not talking about this
Ask them,
country, I'm
ask
talking in
them, ask
general.
them. Mostly they graduated from tourism specialties, they are master degrees, yes. They will not go to work as a receptionist or bellboy if they will be unemployed. Even they will stay at home, but they will
And
not
take
go
those
and
positions.
work as a receptionist or bellboy.
But a hotel manager without proper experience actually, how you can become a hotel manager? See, that's one question actually. Second, if you can become also hooks or crooks, whatever reasons and linkages you are using, you will be the failure one actually. Believe me, because personally, if I put myself, actually I will be taking decisions where I don't have any know-how, how to handle the situation. But if I was junior manager, assistant manager, then I become manager, then senior manager. So I spend time. I have seen the cases, how my senior have. I went through the training. I adopted different skills. I have seen the realistic experience, examples, case studies, and we solve those problems. So it all comes because degree, that piece of paper is not sufficient. That is just a proof that you have completed the teaching hours. Okay, and then you have passed those subjects and the modules. But the experience comes in the industry. The internship for the 6 months, actually, that is just a starter. Okay, that's just a starter to give you that this is a routine, how you have to go. But to have the real experience, because during the internship, how many hours are serious in it?
I think there is like correlation between our mentality. I think Nigora Bezimna she's speaking mainly about our like mentality when you are just beginning the higher education, so mean to be high, considered to be higher education, and when our like youth want to be just higher positions, they do not like to pay their way. Yes.
Hotel industry.
And there is a lack of strict requirements for these guys. You said about this hard working way for becoming the hotel manager.
No. Actually,
They will just hire them because of their education, yes, right? You just got this 4-year education and you become this.
And that's why policymakers and businesses representatives will mention that they should take into consideration this fact.
that's why I say,
Maybe they should open new specialties only in determined, for example, technical schools or universities. Because all the universities have the same direction.
that's why,
Hospitality,
yes.
tourism management, same.
Cannot be. That's why I say the policy maker has to start. They have to come up with the strict rules, regulation for the institution, for the stakeholders such as the hotel actually. Okay, for the travel agencies. I'm sure the tour guide, those licensed tour guide, how do they get their license? What is their qualification? She wants to apply for the tour guide license. What is the proper way of it?
In Uzbekistan,
Yes.
yes, they should have first of all higher education, then they should know Uzbek language. So they should be citizen of Uzbekistan, these 3 obligatory facts, and then they can go to the courses, they are private nowadays, and then they should pass approximately 600 hours, it is approximately 5 or 6 months. And then they can get this certificate. And once in a 3 years, they should upload, yes, or training, yes, they should train and get this certificate.
And once someone gets the certificate, for how long it is?
3 years.
3 years, means every 3 years they have to renew, right?
Renew. Yeah.
Okay. Once anyone got the tour guide license and when they are in the industry, with the tourists actually, is there any body who is checking on them that they are doing the perfect job or not?
Yes, touristic policy we have.
In Malaysia, to get the tour guide license is the most hardest. Okay. It comes for 1 year only. Second year renewal, still you have to go for the strict exams. Exam is not only in written, exam is also in oral. Okay. It doesn't, of course, it is only for Malaysians. I cannot be tour guide. And it is not only in Malay language, the national language, they have different varieties. Okay, which language you can get or you are applying for, and making sure that you have take that when you are in the field, actually, you have tour guide license for English, you must deliver only commentary delivery in English. You cannot use any other language. And these are strict rules actually. Of course, they have a proper uniform to be followed and so many strict. And it's too expensive. It's too expensive actually. And there are high fines on it actually. So fines are imposed purposefully. So tour guides should be efficient and they shouldn't commit mistakes. Okay. And there are so many what you call voluntary, no, not voluntary, vocational schools actually which offers, there is no proper degree for tour guides. There is not proper degree. And most of the tour guides are mature, right? Mature, we can say age of like 40 plus actually, adults enough actually, who are responsible, who have dependent actually, and they know. And also there are some tour guides actually who I know, the tour guide is probably second job for them. Okay.
Yes, in Uzbekistan the same.
So it works, but more rules and regulations should be imposed again. Policy maker should be active on it. Let's come to your comments. Should the title be the dynamic development of tourism industry in Uzbekistan and increasing demand for specialists in tourism? If it is appropriate, please fix the typo and revise accordingly. Okay. I believe the title is too wide actually, because dynamism actually is very huge. I have to find some suitable word actually. Development of tourism industry. The tourism industry is already well developed. That's the reason tourists are coming. So actually that is not motto of this paper. Your motto of this paper is
Arrivals, yes.
no, arrivals is not an issue. You are showing with the statistics that tourist arrival is increasing. That is not an issue. There is no demand from tourist side actually. Your focus is on this thing. So actually for me, until here it doesn't, it's not applicable again actually. There is no issue with the tourist demand. There is an issue with the experts who will be fulfilling the demand of a tourist once they are here.
For specialty.
Yes.
But
Those
in Russian it
specialists.
sounds good.
Sorry?
In Russian it sounds good. When it's translating, it's just maybe it's like I don't know.
What sounds good? What
In
actually?
Russian, I mean the title.
Why? Are you submitting in Russian?
No, we're thinking in Russian.
Okay.
We are finding.
Because when you translate direct translation, actually, from one language to another, actually, there can have a different meanings. And you know, when we translate English to Chinese, actually, especially when you use a Google translator, it's the worst one.
No, as a student and observer, as a common observer, I can just see the ideas and like the title.
That's why this looks bigger. That's why when I saw the title, it's very good actually, but not for a paper. for a big mega project by ministry? Yes. Because we cannot develop the tourism industry. First of all, who we are to develop actually, we don't have a right even actually, we don't have anything. You are developing the tourism industry probably to meet the demand of industry by producing this fish.
It's not dynamic of development and the tendency of. А когда здесь тогда? Я же должна вычислить вот эту часть вровень.
See, second one, abstract stated that the primary objective of this paper is to provide comprehensive analysis of the current state of Uzbekistan tourism industry. Comprehensive analysis of tourism industry in Uzbekistan. Comprehensive analysis of tourism industry. Okay. Comprehensive itself is so heavy word actually.
Yeah.
Okay, and the tourism industry is a crazy. You understand? Then entire Uzbekistan. You are a president of probably this, not a Uzbekistan, right? Alongside an examination of a demand for specialists within this sector. See, this one is it. This one. Probably what I understood until now, your paper motto is this one only. Just specialist actually. And your paper motto means objective actually should be only to identify and reflect there is a need. So your focus should be on the need, that there is a gap we need. We should fulfill that gap actually. By doing, you can have a recommendation. But again, you cannot have a recommendation because it is proposed actually. You don't have actual finding. You cannot do recommendation by showing some statistics from the ministry. Abstract stated that there exists a critical gap in the industry specific practical training opportunities. Okay. If the analysis has already been conducted, what kind of analysis? See, that's the thing. And also in your abstract, there is no citation, there is no reference. Very first. Second, it's a contradictory actually. What we want to do in the beginning, later we want to do something. That's the reason that question arises actually. That have you done something? You have identified what type of analysis actually. But actually no, this is proposed abstract we would like to do, or we are proposing this to the ministry. Please share this abstract with me along with these comments.
Okay.
Okay? Tonight. So tomorrow morning you get the revised version. But it will be completely changed from title till the end. Okay? But I will be giving you lots of work to do later after tomorrow with the citations and references. Okay, maybe you can few things you can get. One thing from the ministry or any authentic source. What is the tourist arrivals for last couple of years? Second thing you can get what is the total number of tour guide or those agencies actually specialists what you are referring to, because a specialist we have to define what exactly we mean by specialist. Okay, same thing what I mentioned earlier also, the abbreviations, right? So first we have to explain, then only we can use the again and again. So a specialist can have a different, a medical specialist. We know that medical specialist means what? A specialist for any particular disease or any particular organ. Okay, tourism specialist, of course, it can be a mice specialist, like a travel agency. It can be a religious activity, what a Hajj or Umrah specialist, pilgrimage. It can be a medical tourism, medical specialist, medical travel agencies actually, tour operator who are just focusing on those packages and so on. Business events or business tourist specialist, sports events specialist. We have to identify what exactly. Another question also, the tourists are coming to Uzbekistan, but for what purpose? What is their purpose of visit? Business, leisure, religious activities, pilgrimage, like most of the Malaysian comes to Uzbekistan to visit this probably holy places or some religious places. Sufism probably can be one of the common. See, that's the reason. The very first thing I ask you, where I can go for Buddhist remains actually, and of course that was the limitation that is too away actually. Again, it doesn't mean religious, but I have some sort of interest in history, and when they dig archaeology or archaeological sites actually, it's wonderful. Doesn't matter it is Buddhist or something, but I dig about it, that I research about it, that Buddhist sites are available in this Central Asian location. So it can be. Also, actually it's not a big thing actually, but we need statistics to make this abstract stronger. We really need. Are we good with the
Now
abstract?
it is time to go.
Just give me probably 5 to 8 minutes. 5 to 8 minutes, yeah?
I'm here, but no, it's okay.
Oh, it's okay. Actually, most interesting things are coming actually. Okay. Results, findings. Okay, of the paper actually. So presenting the findings clearly. How to present clearly? This is not a literature review section. This is not a methodological section. This is not introduction. This is a finding section. Findings means what you have done, what type of analysis you have to just report. What are the results actually? This is not discussion event. This is findings section. You have to report. We did this test. These are the results. Okay, you went to the medical laboratory this morning and you did the blood test. You identified, okay, your blood is B positive or O negative, whatever. So just we have to report, okay, we did this. This is the result actually. Okay, hypotheses are accepted, hypotheses are rejected, and so on. Have a look at this structural model assessment and interpretation. So SCM, structural equation modeling, actually one of the analytical tool where we run our data to run the model to check the relationship. Under that, we have interpret those results actually. And this bootstrapping outcome and the p values actually, this is the output of that SCM model actually. So this is very important to show. Earlier in my paper actually, so this one doesn't come from SPSS actually. In SPSS, we use the same conceptual framework which we have created, which we have drafted at the end of literature review, and then SPSS gives the p value, beta value, then we add on here. Then we add on. But this model comes from SCM directly. Okay, but this is an advanced tool for data analysis. Okay, and then this section is all about interpretation. Interpretation means just reporting data. This stage, this stage, this stage, these are the results. Following section is a discussion. Okay, so T value is above 1.96 and lower than 0.05 because there are assumption. T value, beta value, reliability, Cronberg alpha. So there are so many rule of thumb actually, which you have to understand and remember. So if beta for Cronberg alpha is 0.07, sorry, 0.7 or above, it means strong. If below 0.7, it means 0.6 moderate. Below 0.6, low. If you need to accept any of the hypothesis with a p-value,
If it's above 0.1, it
no.
No?
No. Come again, last option. If it's equal to or below 0.05, accept it.
Yeah.
Above 0.05, even 0.051, rejected. So don't ask me why. I don't know. These are rule of thumb actually which we need to follow. discussion, the very next session after those findings, interpretation and discussion. So whatever we have explained earlier, we are not going to repeat here. But now our findings, what we have got, we have to discuss more in detail by integrating with the literature. Our findings are consistent with the previous research. This is the research. Our findings are contradictory with the previous research. This is the research. We have to show. We have to show. Otherwise, this discussion doesn't, because this integration of our findings with the prior literature is necessary to reach the implication. Otherwise, our findings are at what level we don't know. Our findings are valid or not, we don't know. It doesn't mean that our findings has to be similar to previous study. No, even if it's a contradictory, still it's a report, and we have to find. If you have suppose 8 hypotheses, 5 are similar, 3 are different, or 3 are similar, 5 are different, is good. Even though in the different studies you will find one study, my finding hypothesis is accepted. His previous study, similar type of hypothesis were rejected. His previous study, the similar type of hypothesis are accepted. So I will be reporting person A accepted, person B rejected, my hypothesis rejected, and so on. Why it happened? That. Why? Because justification actually. He did the study for the consumer in Barcelona. I did the study in Karachi, Pakistan, with the restaurant consumer. His one was a retail consumer. And he did something with the B2B. B2B are the different consumers actually. Different contexts, different geographical locations, but overall variables were the same type of relationship. Then the conclusion, summary, limitations, avenue for future research. Okay, so conclusion starts from the beginning. This was the purpose of this study, making sure that you don't repeat what you have done, even a single line. But we can use paraphrasing. It's easy, right? And there is an AI also, but make sure that you don't get captured with the plagiarism test actually. So use your mind. You paraphrase through AI, bring to the Word document, then use. How can change? Okay, so use your own logic also. Decide that AI should be supporting you rather than you are generating something actually. So after just conclude from beginning till end actually what type of, even we don't need to talk about the methodology, but if you have used some innovative tool, something different, then yes. So again repeating the same why, where, when, how, with who, what was the purpose, what are the major findings, and then concluding remarks, but making sure not repetitive, but it should be consistent. Okay, if you, simple example, you use the word of tourist, right? So make sure that throughout the paper you use the word of tourist rather than visitor. Okay, because visitor are different from tourist. If you use the word of hotel industry, then please use the word of hotel industry rather than hospitality industry. If you use the word of industry, use the word of industry rather than sector. All of a sudden, don't change actually. Otherwise, sector have a different meaning from the industry. So, consistency. Whatever the jargons you are using, make sure you have clarified, well explained. In abstract, don't use any jargon. Better don't use actually, because it will be eating your words. And if you are using suppose NTO, National Tourism Organization, of course we know that NTO because we are from tourism, but someone not necessary NTO, you just Google so many meanings. So just use the National Tourism Organization, WHO, World Health Organization, or WTTC, UNWTO, or any abbreviation, just full form in the abstract. It will take words, but what to do? Otherwise, it will not be clear. It will be creating confusion and questions. Structure of the conclusion. restate the objective and the key findings. So focus on a major finding rather than repeating what you did in the previous section. Okay, and in this one actually you, because in the findings you explain the statistics, the values. Okay, in discussion you don't need to use those values. You have to focus on what type of relation actually with this relation was accepted, contradictory or similar to previous study. Conclusion, you don't need to talk everything. Just focus on major things. Probably out of 9 hypotheses, maybe 2, 3, 4 which are different, which make your research totally different. Keep it concise and short. For a good paper, conclusion should be probably 350 words. Discussion can, now it depends actually what is the word limit for that paper. Okay.
Sometimes it's much like 150.
It depends actually, because for some paper conclusion, see all these headings all are one, then it cannot be 50 words actually. For some papers actually these all are one, or for some journals actually these all are different. Under the conclusion, we have a conclusion, then we have implications. Under the implications different types of implications, and then we have limitations, and then future revenue, or limitation and future revenue comes together. Why? It's good actually. The limitation and future revenue should always come together. What is the limitation for my paper? Instantly I say this is the revenue for future. What we have a leftover actually, this can be revenue actually, because we cannot do everything. But make sure that it's concise and clear. That future revenue point which you have highlighted, which was the limitation in your paper, can be the right objective for the next paper. Okay. Read. We will start tomorrow from here.
At what time?
Because here on the title I need some time. 9:30?
Okay.
I'm good.
Четверг все как-то не знать или удалили, чтобы... Давайте следующий вебинар я сфотографировала.
I think you also come, ask someone to capture. You can ask someone to capture. Or you, we can have some nice picture today.
Maybe you can get a go.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on.
That's all it is. Teachers.
I'm opening the slides, so background should be nice. Okay, the efforts we are putting should be captured, right? Three, cheers.
For me, the
We have time, right? Professor for podcast. Or not today. Not tired, we have some other thing also. Okay. More from. If you all come 9:30, we can report it up 20 minutes and 10 o'clock and start the lesson. Okay, also, or I can come at 9 o'clock. If you can, it's 9 is before, but okay. What's your room number? You can report here. Okay, 9 o'clock, I meet you here. Okay. Number of minutes.
Я специально она сложная.
Вы же маленькая. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And the question at 9:30.
Yeah.
You want to talk to me then? Thank you, doctor, for your
We prepare tomorrow. Take care. Okay. Yes,
My intention student.
Oh, so you have to picture or?
With you.
Whose phone is being used now? Yours, right?
Mine.
Okay, you make sure that you send me the pictures.
We talk singular Telegram. Yes, we can open a group in Telegram.
Oh, okay.
Do you use them? By the way? Yes, yes.
I'll use all the applications.
Oh, nice. Possible.
Okay, have a nice evening or something. One, two, three. Yeah.
Ты говоришь русский или нет?
Нет, нет.
Здорово, смотрите. Так, здесь 700 минут.
Thank you. Thank you.
Long time I haven't been with it, so let me check. Because normally I don't do analysis my students.
Because I have data for Windows, but for iOS, I don't have anything. Maybe I don't have.
That's one student actually it's so just for 20 days or something. Try SPSS practice for free. No, it's a free. Currently, your 30 days trial. See,
After 30 days.
after 30 days, you change the